Welcome to This Day in Brattleboro Vermont's History. I am your host, Bob Cornelier. Today's topic will be the Via Condotti restaurant fire, March 19, 1978. March 19, 1978. A fire that started in the crowded Via Condotti restaurant just before 8 p.m. destroyed the two-story landmark building, which also housed the Wings clothing shop. At the height of the blaze, men and equipment from 7 fire departments in 3 states were pouring water onto the restaurant and adjoining buildings. It was the third major fire in downtown Brattleboro in the past 6 years. Fire Chief T. Howard Madison said during the 2 hours it took to bring the fire under control, he was worried about the flames spreading to one of the surrounding buildings, but the 60 firemen kept the fire contained to the original building. Although officially under control at 10 p.m., firemen worked on the fire all night and into the morning. Fire hoses were laid to hydrants all along Main, Elliott, and Flat Streets, as well as one in the Harmony parking lot. The heart of downtown was closed to give firemen room to work. Firemen knew as soon as they arrived the building could not be saved. They concentrated their efforts to putting the flames out, preventing the inferno from spreading to surrounding buildings. The buildings on either side were evacuated. The building was one of the town's oldest structures, built sometime before 1869. The Via Condotti restaurant was owned by Jan Karetnick, the Wings clothing store by Thomas Gleason. Karetnick was in the restaurant when the fire broke out in the middle of the busy supper hour. The cook came out and said he could smell smoke. Karetnick went to investigate and found smoke coming through the floor. He tried to call the fire department, but the phone lines in the basement were destroyed by the fire. He got everyone outside and then heard the sirens. Several hundred people lined the sidewalks on Elliott Street at the height of the fire. Chief Madison said it was hard to put out the fire. There were metal ceilings, false ceilings, remodeling on top of remodeling. The west wall of the building collapsed against a brick building next door. A water curtain was set up in the alley until Turners Falls lather truck arrived and trained a large water stream on the building. At its height, the fire lit up the night sky and sent burning embers across the area by a gusty wind. The strong wind swirled smoke all over downtown, choking firemen and spectators. While the fire was held to one building, surrounding structures still received some damage. Flat Street nightclub under construction on Flat Street was flooded by water running down the hill and into the building. There was nearly 2 feet of water in the structure. Chief Madison brought in a crane to the scene to tear down the building. The crane removed the danger of collapse and helped firemen get water on the still burning areas. The water department estimated 279,000 gallons of water was used to fight the fire. At the scene, along with the Brattleboro Fire Department, were men and equipment from Guilford, Vermont, Keene and Hinsdale, New Hampshire, Turners Falls, Greenfield, and Northfield, Massachusetts. Rescue Inc. was on hand to provide any first aid or ambulance service. The building was a fish market at the turn of the 20th century. For many years, the building housed a Campbell and Campbell Hardware store, and the property was owned by Mr. and Mrs. James Galanes. In 1975, the Via Condotti restaurant was started by Vincent Mardorma. He sold the business to Karetnick in 1976. The wing shop also started in 1976. This is your host, Bob Cornelier. Thank you for watching this episode of This Day in Brattleboro Vermont History. Photos and information courtesy of the Brattleboro Vermont Historical Society and newspapers.com. The Brattleboro Historical Society is located on the 3rd floor municipal building, Suite 301. Hours are Thursdays 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., Saturdays 10 a.m. to 12 noon. The Brattleboro Historical Society has a Facebook page, and you can visit the website at bhs802.org.